Americans have dumbed it down even more. I'm sorry. You know, we just, all the different words that we use, we've dumbed it down quite a bit. So let's go ahead and look at Genesis 11. Somebody read 1 through 4 for me. Y'all help me teach this lesson this morning, okay? I got nothing.
Now the whole earth used the same language and the same words. And it came about as they journeyed east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar and settled there. And they said to one another, "Come, let us make bricks and burn them thoroughly." And they used brick for stone, and they used tar for mortar. And they said, "Come, let us build for ourselves a city, and a tower whose top will reach into heaven. And let us make for ourselves a name, lest we be scattered abroad over the face of the whole earth."
Okay, so what word did you hear a couple of times in there?
Come.
Ourselves, us, build for us, ourselves, okay? Dangerous words to use, as far as for a Christian is concerned. Listen, what's obviously wrong? I mean, we just talked about it as we led into the class here today. What's obviously wrong with a closed fellowship?
Close.
There it is. I said obviously. It's okay, yeah, it's right, good word. It's exclusive. We're excluding people out there. And first of all, what did God tell Noah and the folks that they were supposed to do?
Go out.
Go
Across
out.
the whole world.
Don't just stick there. Let's just hang out here. Don't we like it here? This is fun. I mean, if we just shut the door over there now, that'd be gross. But if this just became what we did all the time, okay? And I don't have that much information to be able to teach all the time. It's not, it won't work out for you guys. But let's say we just decided that this was it. If husbands and wives aren't here today, then they would be part of it. We'd make sure they could come in here and be with us. So Michael gets to come. Your husband gets to be here. I don't mean it like that. We don't just shut the door and lock everybody out, but just us and our families. We could have a good time, right? We'd have fun. Again, there's some exceptional, you guys are exceptional people, so I'd be okay with that. I'd want to see some of my family, some of those other goobers, but gosh, y'all have become such family. Yes, sir.
When you hear that, don't you usually call that a cult?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cult.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Great Koresh. Ooh.
Got a little ring to it there.
I probably shouldn't have said that.
Rick Jones.
Yeah. Yeah. Cute. Want some Kool-Aid?
Yeah.
Boy, we're going down the wrong path. That's just not right.
That's where they went. That's
where they
in
went.
Babylon they were going.
Okay, but in here, isn't it just when it talks about let's make a name for ourselves? Wow. Right? So they're building a tower. Right? Well, so what's the point of them building? Why are they building the tower? Be up there where God is. Hey, let's just elevate ourselves. Let's elevate ourselves up to God's level.
Kind of a monument to themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When we were in Italy, I thought that very thing. And I'm not jumping on the Catholic religion. It's a beautiful place to go visit in Rome. But you go into St. Peter's Basilica and it sure feels like a monument to men. There are dead popes laying around all over the place. Right? Statues of men, not just Jesus. People walk by Peter and rub on his foot. Right? It's the right foot is a different color than the left because people walk by prayerfully and touch his foot because they think that the first pope of Rome has some kind of power for them. It's a beautiful place. I was overwhelmed by it. It's incredible to visit the Vatican. Wow. Incredible. And boy, you should go. St. Peter's, you just felt like a tower. You know what I mean? Is that a bad thing for me to say out loud to you guys?
That's true.
So,
Just thinking how sad Peter would be.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, he may whoop a few people with his attitude. Anyway, it's just a monument to men. It's like that old song that the Stones used to sing. in a Lawrence Welk voice, you know, I can't get no satisfaction. So let's boogaloo until we puke. You know, you know what I mean? I can't get no satisfaction. Do you think it's kind of like that? Those words aren't in that song.
Yeah.
I heard that somewhere before. So that'll be stuck in y'all's head this week. Let's boogaloo until we puke. There you go. That's new for today. New word. And that wasn't the word Tracy didn't send it to. That's a different one. So, anyway, that was an attempt at a Lawrence Welk voice. But, cup of
I
coffee.
want some.
Cup of coffee. I told you. Listen, I told you I had nothing that y'all have to help. Because when I go and I have nothing, it goes like this.
Jump in there, Johnny.
So, okay. So think about it like that. Is it because we want more? Do we build towers unto ourselves because we can't get satisfaction from the other things? Do you see my point? What I'm saying here? So this is a dangerous place to be. Okay? God still fixes those things. Okay? Monuments to men crumble. Right? Towers to men come down. They crumble. Often they're left as for us to stare at in disrepair. Right? Why? To correct our behavior, and they're monuments to our disappointments. A lot of times that's what they become. Okay? So you just got to be really careful. You know, I talk to my son all the time. I don't have to talk to Russell that much anymore. You know, he's a grown man, and he's pretty much my hero anyway, so it's all good there. But I always talk to Zach about it. I talked to him yesterday. I don't remember what the conversation was about. He's home this weekend. He's going to the fair today. But be careful what your motives are. Be careful about when you say something to somebody, take a second, take a step back, and consider what your motive is before you say it. Okay? If it's not for their good and edification or for God's glory, then you should shut up and not say anything. Just be careful what you do. You know, it's just not that. You know, I just tell it like it is. You know, sometimes you just tell it because you're a jerk, right? So just be careful. Check your motives. Well, the same thing when you're doing something, right? You're building something in your life. Okay, what's your motive? What's your motive behind that? Is it a tower to you? Is it a monument to you? Or is this a tower and a monument to God that's going to go eternal? It's going to be eternally there, right? Not that something is going to end up being in disrepair because it was a monument to you and a monument of disappointment. Okay, so it's just really interesting where these people were going with their mindset. That this isn't that far behind the flood, guys. This is a chapter later that this is going on, and they're already doing this. Okay, so do you think that we have a great day? Okay, Monday, man, it just was a good day. I talked to Jesus most of the day, and things went well. And you know, I was able to talk to somebody about him today. But then the next day comes. Okay, do you think that we're always building for him? No. So you just got to be mindful. We're not ever going to completely get it. We just are not. The end of this book, the end of the lesson today, we're going to talk about how his thoughts are much bigger than our thoughts. We're going to talk about that for a few minutes before we close. Boy, we got to move. So I'm talking too much. Somebody else needs to talk. But anyway, pretty much, pride before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. Okay? He's got to correct the behavior. And we're not to be creating our own satisfaction. We've got to be able to have satisfaction in him and what he wants us to do. Okay? So we got to check our motives before we take steps and make moves. So here's one thing, though, that we probably need to keep in mind here. Our sin and our rebellion, that doesn't stop God now. He's way too big for that to happen. He's not threatened by our rebellion. That doesn't threaten. God's not threatened by that at all. But let's just be clear. He'll put an end to it. He did here. Wow. Okay, he did here. This first sentence in 11:5-7 is one that got my attention today, or this week. Okay, somebody read 5-7 there in 11 for me.
But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower that the men were building. The Lord said, if as one people speaking the same language they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them. Come, let us go down and confuse their language so that they will not understand each other.
Don't get that? That first part of that first sentence, what did he do? He came down.
Showed up.
Wow. That's scary. So that means that he said, okay, let us go down. He's not alone. Who's with him?
Jesus and the Holy Spirit. Triune.
Absolutely. Us. So here they come. Now, think about it, okay? Here we are, we're sitting in this room. We're trying to do the right things, right? And then God comes down. And he just shows up. And he starts to check our monuments out. Okay? The monuments that we've built. Where we're trying to reach his status. Okay? That's what these people are trying to do. They're trying to reach his status. Okay, let's get up there. We deserve to be next to God. Let's go where he is. Scientology. Right? Let's be godlike. Wow. Not so much. Was that what you want? Have you ever thought about it that way when you read this chapter? If he came down, if God came down and showed up and started talking to you, and listen, let's just, again, be clear. He knows everything. He sees everything. Right now, he knows exactly what I'm talking about, and I'm sorry. He knows what I've said in here. Every word. Nothing has passed by him. He gets it. You know what else he knows? Boy, he knows my thoughts. That's scary. Huh? He knows my motives behind the things that I do. How much of my monuments that I think I've built for God were actually for me that are going to burn up? Am I going to get into heaven smelling like I've been singed pretty big? Maybe. I don't know. I hope not. I hope that some of those are things that I can lay at his feet, and not just burnt up grass, But if he came down, would he be? Listen, he's not impressed by our good. Everybody knows that. He's not impressed by our good. Okay, but if you're building monuments to him that you're receiving crowns for because you've done something really with the right motive for him, and you're not building a monument to yourself, that's what he wants, right? That's what he wants us to do. He wants us to serve him by serving others and having the right motives behind those things. Merely my opinion, but I think it's accurate. Okay, so just when you read this verse of Scripture, I hadn't really thought about it before, that he actually came down to inspect and to look around. That had to be slightly intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
You think? It had to be really intimidating. Everybody knew. I mean, if he came down, let's go see. Let's go see that monument that they're building down. So, first of all, here's a fact that's hard to explain to people that don't know much about Scripture. God is a jealous God. He's jealous of those things. So when somebody says, well, wait a minute, I came to church that day because you invited me